hereby given that the Board of Education of the Berlin Unified School District, in accordance with Elections Code Section 10010, will receive and consider public input
If I
regarding
spread the word, it's going to be on my YouTube channel. Just on YouTube, you're going to see the whole enchilada.
or by trustee area elections pursuant to Education Code Section 5019 and 5020. The board invites public comments regarding this matter. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mitchell at this time.
Antes de comenzar la audiencia pública, si alguien ocupa traducción en español, tenemos traducción disponible. Voy a estar aquí enfrente, esperar unos minutos. Por favor, si ocupan traducción, sí está disponible.
공청회를 할 때 도움을 줄 수 있습니다.
家长如果这是学区的公众听证会哈，如果任何的家长呢有机会想要发表的话，我会在这边帮你们翻译，谢谢。
So we have translators in Korean and Chinese and Spanish, should anybody wish to have this part of the public hearing translated, as well as the opportunity to provide comment to the board. At this time, I would like to turn the podium over to Ron Wenkart to be able to share a presentation regarding the draft scenarios of trustee areas, and then we also invite public comment.
Thank you for that introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. Going to go through the, thank you. I'm going to kind of give an overview of the California Voting Rights Act. The first slide here is a timeline. We're now at the November 14th meeting. And so this is the first public hearing on the trustee area scenarios or the maps that have been proposed by the demographer. And I'll get to those in a few slides. The next hearing will be December 12th, which will be the final hearing on the trustee area scenarios. And then in January, the board will make a final decision on the maps. Criteria that was used in deciding how to draw the maps, where each site has to be equal in population or the number of inhabitants. That includes every person, children, everyone in the family in this county. We used 2010 census data. We're required to use that 2010 census data. The maps have to be drawn in compliance with the Federal Voting Rights Act, so we cannot discriminate against minority groups or dilute the minority vote. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. It has to be compact and contiguous as much as possible, and we have to respect communities of interest. We will try to follow man-made and natural geographic boundaries, respect incumbency if possible, and take into other considerations such as school boundaries and location of school sites. So let's get a little more specific about the demographics. Sure. These are the maps that I'll be talking about in a minute. So if you have a chance, just take a look at it. This is blown up, so there's a little more detail. So you can see the streets and the natural boundaries that are in the district. So there's 5 different maps. Generally, just in general, sorry.
Just so that the public can see all of them. I wanted to be able to see the presentation.
Oh, no problem. So, as I was saying, these are the maps. When you're on a recess or a break, feel free to take a look. Generally, the yellow portion is District 1, and we'll get into there's 5 distinct areas. So let me start with the demographics. The general demographics of the district, when you look at total population, 44% of the population is Hispanic or Latino, 8% is white, 2%, 2.5% is Black or African American, 43% is Asian. So those are the general demographics of the district that we have to work with. This next slide shows where the Hispanic population resides within the district. The darker areas are the areas where there's the heaviest concentration of Hispanic population. The next slide is similar for the Asian population. It shows you the most highly concentrated areas of the Asian population. The darkest areas are the heaviest concentrations. So the next slide is the first scenario. And the yellow area is Trustee Area 1. The green area is Trustee Area 2. The orangish area is Trustee Area 3. Blue is Trustee Area 4. And the purple area is Trustee Area 5. And this scenario contains two Hispanic or Latino majority areas in Trustee Area 2 and 3, and 3 Asian majority areas in Trustee Areas 1, 4, and 5. And similarly, here's the specific breakdown of the statistics. TP stands for total population. CVAP stands for citizen voting adult population, which is 18 and over. So the next scenario is similar. Yellow is the Trustee Area 1, as I mentioned. Also, it creates 2 Hispanic Latino majority areas in Trustee Areas 2 and 3, and 3 Asian majority areas in Trustee Areas 1, 4, and 5. And there's the statistics for scenario 2 as well. And then scenario 3 also creates 2 Hispanic majority areas in Trustee Areas 2 and 3, and 3 Asian majority areas in Trustee Areas 1, 4, and 5. So you'll notice that the yellow is the 1, 4, and 5 are at the top, in the right-hand corner, and the bottom left. Those are the heaviest Asian areas, and the areas in the middle, 2 and 3, are the heaviest Hispanic or Latino areas. Scenario, these are the statistics for scenario 3. And then scenario 4 is a slightly different model. Trustee Area 1 is in yellow toward the bottom, so the numbering is a little bit different. This was submitted by an outside demographer. The concern with this map is that Trustee Area 3, the way it's drawn, has an 86% Hispanic population and 82% citizen voting population, but only creates 1 majority Hispanic area in Trustee Area 3 and 3 Asian majority areas in 1, 2, and 5. The remaining area is divided between Hispanic and Asian populations. So that's kind of a quick overview of the maps. And so with that, I'll conclude my presentation. Did I miss one? I'm sorry. Jumping ahead too fast. Scenario number 5, I'm sorry. Also, it creates 2 Hispanic majority areas, areas 2 and 3, and 3 majority Asian areas in Trustee Areas 1, 4, and 5. 1 is being the yellow, blue, and purple. Those are the Asian majority districts, and the orangish and green are the 2 Hispanic majority areas. So that's the formal presentation. We'll open it up to public comments, and then we'll have a discussion after that, where I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody might have. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are 2 members of the audience who have requested to speak, and at the direction of President Friedman, she will call you to the podium, as well as any other members of the public.
The public hearing is for all interested parties to provide comments only on the trustee area boundaries. Public hearings opened at 8:07 p.m. Joshua Maddock. Joshua Maddock. Joshua Maddock. Carlos Perez.
Do I get 6 minutes? So my name is Carlos Perez. I'm the individual that sent the letter to you regarding the violations of the California Voting Rights Act. And for those of the audience who may not realize, the school board voted in 2017 to eliminate at-large elections. So law required you to act within 90 days, and you did not. You sat on it for 2 years, and when I talked to your council, apparently your intent was to sit on it for another 2 years before you actually do districts. And this is why I'm here today. I want to suggest to you that you reconsider map number 4. Apparently what has not been identified, it's been labeled as one of the district's demographer's own maps, was produced by an individual demographer with 40 years of experience associated with the Dolores Huerta Foundation. That map is carefully drawn. We discovered in the process of reviewing the demographics of your district that your school boundaries do not match what the U.S. Census has. And I would suggest to my colleague that perhaps you want to talk to LACO about adjusting those. But the other thing that concerns me about the maps that you have proposed is that they take incumbency to some degree into account. And I'm particularly concerned about map number 5, which seems to create an individual district for every incumbent. You should know that it is well established in California, when drawing congressional districts and cities, and yes, school districts, that it is unlawful to take into account where the incumbents live. It's not the way we draw districts. And map number 5, in my opinion, is completely defective. I would also suggest that you consider map number 4 as a viable option, because it was drawn completely blind as to where board members lived and incumbency, and does represent, in my view, a more neutral view of what the community should look like. Now, I'm disappointed that the district has not given members of the community the opportunity to draw maps. You know, when this happened in Whittier High School, where I live, the Whittier High School district, they had a workshop, and people were given the opportunity to draw their maps. And perhaps that's something you should consider as well. But as we get through this process, I think that you should really stay away from the idea of looking at where incumbents live. And I do see that each of the keys have those reflected. So please keep in mind that if you do adopt a map that I believe is defective, we do reserve the right to go to court to challenge that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else like to come up and speak? Come.
Hi, hello, I'm Roy Humphreys here. Just very quickly, because I'm representing the simple folk in the district. And if you do anything that varies from a standard process, then it's a disservice to us simple people. And you come along and you have this color scheme up here, yellow at the top and what do you call it, mauve at the bottom. And then you come along to number 4 here, and gee whiz, yellow's at the bottom. It's difficult enough for us simple people to deal with the technical aspects of all of this or any of it. And then you do something like that. I think that's disingenuous and just simply wrong. Another thing that would help out if, and on the demographics things by Mr. Perez with all the little dots and everything, it showed clearly that between Valley and the freeway, guess what? It's all industrial. How about some little hash marks to show those industrial? Really, there's nobody that lives there. And therefore, there is a great divide between the north and the south. And as much as reasonably technical, I don't know all the technical aspects that these professionals have, but the people on the south side of the freeway have a significant social cycle.
Yeah.